Good morning everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to start off by showing you the first batch of shirts have come in. The Cedric Dubler Commonwealth Games supporter shirts. If you would like to support me in the lead up to the Commonwealth Games, these are available at shopcedricdubler.com. These are only the male shirts. There's also female shirts and youth shirts. Also, a quick side note, I will be doing another order of these shirts like 24 hours after this video goes up. So if you would like one, please get on there as soon as possible because they are only available for a limited time and then they're out. We're moving on. Anyway, today we are doing the part 2 of the reacting to my Nationals Decathlon vlog. I will be doing the same thing as the part 1. Going through, adding some information, telling some extra stories, giving you guys even more of an insight into how I scored 8229 and felt like I did it quite easily. Let's do it. Good morning everybody, welcome to day 2 of the National Championships and Commonwealth Games trials. Usually when I wake up day 2 of a decath, I'm feeling sore and tired, and usually overnight my hips, glutes and hammies have just completely seized up and it takes ages to get going at the start of day 2 for the hurdles. When I got to the track, I was actually feeling pretty good. And then I saw Bruno, my massage therapist. We got into all those sort of spots and warming up for the hurdles was just comfortable. Like, I was able to get over the hurdles, the hip mobility was there, the hamstring range was there. Everything was just flowing really nicely. So I was excited for a really good run. When I got out to the track, wasn't nervous, just keen to get over the first hurdle as fast as possible. And I had a really good rhythm at the start, then I sort of clipped a hurdle and slowed down a little bit and didn't quite have fresh enough legs to carry that speed through. Looked at the time, I think it said 14:23 or something when I crossed, and I was a little bit disappointed with that. I wanted to go very close to 14:0, but it's still a good time in a decathlon. Then we pretty much got rushed straight back out to the discus, and the discus warm-up was quite stressful actually. We didn't have many throws, and the very first warm-up throw I did went straight into the net, and then the very first warm-up spin throw I did went straight into the net as well. So I had 1 out of my 3 warm-up throws that actually got out there. So the first round throw was all about just getting the throw out there, getting a distance, and 41.03 as an opener is really good. I really can't complain with that. The second one came around, dropped my shoulder a little bit, and then scooped the arm up and it just sort of flew high in the air. And then the third one I threw from like in the middle of the circle as opposed to really going after it. Also, as I was walking off, you saw me wearing that hat. That hat was like a lifesaver during the competition. It's a cooling hat, and so while I was going to do throws, I'd put it in my little esky or in the esky that was out there, and then once I'd have a throw, I'd come back, throw it on, sun safe, and it was just cooling my head down, and which was cooling everything else down. So that was really good. But I know that I can get out closer to 45, and I probably should have today. I really did feel like I could throw 45. Okay, one thing you completely missed in the video here is the 2-hour break between getting out to the pole vault and me having my first jump. I did a warm-up, that felt really comfortable, but then I sat down for 2 hours while everyone sort of started jumping. And I think 470, I can't remember if everyone was out or if there was one person left in when I started, but yeah, I waited a long time to start jumping, and my coach was actually stressing a little bit because a lot of the other athletes were missing their first attempt at their opening heights, and they started stressing out about that. So my coach was like, come on, do some run-throughs, make sure you're all good to go. And I was like, Eric, we're gonna be sweet, relax, I got this. So I got called up, 470 was the opening height, came in and just popped over it. It felt really easy. This 5-meter jump, we skipped straight to 5 meters, felt like the best jump of the entire competition. And then my coach was like, all right, we're skipping to 520. 510 was my PB, we're skipping to 520. because I know you can get it. And so first jump I almost had it, I just didn't get the penetration through. Second jump I was a little bit under, so I also didn't really get that right. But third one, nailed it. Ooh, I'm getting a call. I will call them back. So yeah, nailed 520 PB. I was stoked about that. And it was also really good to share it with like all these officials, because they've been there since the start of the journey for so many years. They've seen me develop as an athlete, and all they want is the best for me. So they were really, really good during the competition. It just threw me upwards, so I was confident skipping straight to 5 meters. I'm actually pretty keen for Com Games as well, because there was no atmosphere out at the pole vault. But at the Commonwealth Games, there's literally a temporary stadium of 9,500 people right in front of the pole vault. So I think that's going to make for a really good atmosphere. I'm going to be confident in dropping my shoulders and getting back and nailing some really big heights. 90 as my target for 8,000 points. So that's like another 90 points on top of that. Pole vault is big points. I'm on track to comfortably get a PB at the moment, which is really good. Now we have a while to just rest and recover in the multi-event room, and then we have javelin. So at this point in the decath, I was confident that I could just get through the rest of the competition without having to do too much extra. Javelin's always really consistent around 53, 54 meters. So first throw was 53.17, which is a really solid opener. Second throw 54.95, which I think is a PB. And then the third round, all I was thinking about is trying to speed up my legs into the last, I guess, cross and into the throw. So you can actually see me quicken up my feet, except I had like a stutter halfway down the run-up, which threw me off a little bit, and I also did not hit the javelin through the tip. If both of those things were right with the speed that I had, the javelin would have gone 60 meters. And I was testing out a new javelin as well, which was really nice. I'm trying to convince Nordic Sport to send me one. Nordic Sport, if you're watching, please help me out. Because it was a really good javelin, and I'd love to keep like training with it and throwing it and all that sort of stuff. But from that, like, I was just cruising along. It was honestly, at this point I was like, how am I doing this so easily? I know that sounds arrogant, but everything was just flowing. There were no real setbacks or hiccups during the competition. Everything was just flowing, and I guess that comes down to 8 months of solid training without injuries. That's what I would put that down to. So we had one more event to go, the 1500. My coach initially said, I want you to run 4:39 and get 8,300 points. And I turned to him and I was like, Eric, our plan was to score 8,000 points. That's all we wanted for this competition. And he was like, okay, I guess you're right. Let's go for 8,200, which was I think 4:55 or something that I had to run in the 1500. So the plan was just to go out there and just get a feel for the track. I let the boys sort of go ahead at the start here. Lockie ran a really good time in the 1500. I think he ran like a 4:13 to just crack 7,000 points. David Brock had an interesting finish. You'll see that in 1 second. But yeah, first lap, 73 seconds, which is spot on pace. Second lap, a little bit slow. I think it was about 76 seconds. The 1K split was 3:10. I can't remember what the 1200 split was. And then I just really cruised the last lap. Ready? Watch Brocky. One forward roll and then gets up, still stuttering, can't get his legs going, and did a second forward roll. And Kyle tried to like help him up, but Kyle was trying to go for a certain time, so was like, oh, what do I do? And end up just crossing the line. But yeah, cruised through, finished in 4:50, and I felt great after the competition.
It's been a good weekend.
Well, let's talk about the shape that you're in. What score do you think that you can realistically target with a huge crowd cheering for you?
I don't want to put pressure on myself, but 8,500 has been the goal for a few years. That would be an Australian record as well. And
that would be insane.
That would go close to winning a lot of Commonwealth Games. I know Damien Warner will be over here.
8.5 is like usually like top 4 at most major championships, so that'd be really cool. So then I had the medal presentation, and then I got tested by ASADA. You can actually see them sort of waiting for me in the background there. It took ages to pee because I was dehydrated. So after they were like, hey Cedric, you're gonna get tested, I think I drank like 2 bottles of water, a Powerade and a half, and then it still took like an hour and a half to pee. But in that time, they were really easygoing, so they took me back to the multi-event room. I was able to pack up all my stuff, and then I did the drug test, and right at the end of the drug test was when like the adrenaline of the competition started wearing off, and the last question usually in a drug test is, what medication have you taken for the past week? And that was when like everything was just starting to sort of settle down for me, and I could not think straight. So that was quite funny. But yeah, super stoked with how the competition ended up. Cruised through 8,229 points. Seriously, I've said it a million times, I felt like I did it quite easily, and I feel like there's more left in the tank for the Commonwealth Games. A little bit faster in the runs, higher and further in the jumps, and definitely further in the throws. So this is where I'm leaving today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you have learnt a little bit more about the competition and how it went, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!